Hola, and welcome back to the Phillips Film Baby Journey. To all my loyal supporters, for those of you who are new, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can join the Phillips fam. I am Requill, and today I am 21 weeks pregnant with my little baby girl that me and my husband plan to name Legacy Phillips. We conceived Legacy using IVF, for those of you who don't know. And this video is going to be about what I wish I had known before we started the IVF process. But before I get into all that, I always start these videos off talking about the symptoms I am having for the week. This week I have been highly emotional. I mean, everybody's been getting on my nerves. If we talked on the phone, it's a good chance you got on my nerves. If we work together, it's a good chance you definitely got on my nerves. If we cross paths at all this week, you probably did something to annoy me. In addition to being annoyed and irritable, I have been crying a lot. I've cried probably at least 5 times this week. Majority of that crying was due to something I watched on TV. Everything is just, oh my God, that's so touching and has me boo-hooing. Last night I cried though because I was actually scared. It was really windy, my husband wasn't home, a door flew open, something fell in the kitchen, and I just knew there was a serial killer in my house, and I was paralyzed with fear. I texted him like, hurry home, and by the time he got here, my face is just drenched in tears because I was so in fear that somebody was here. So yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week. I'm hoping my emotions and hormones get themselves back in check, but everybody's been telling me they're only going to get worse. So I apologize now to anybody I may hurt. Well, feelings I may hurt during this time frame. All right, well, let's get into what I wish I'd known. The very first thing is how long the whole IVF process would take. Me and my husband went to the doctor the first week of June so that we could start the IVF process. And I was thinking, okay, this should be pretty quick because we had done 3 prior cycles for IUIs, and those take probably literally a month to complete. So I was thinking IVF would take around the same time. No, that is not the case. So we went the first week of June, and they put together a calendar which had me starting my medications the first week of July. And I'm like, why do we need all this time? And they're like, well, okay, well, we got to get some clearances to insurance. There's money that you need to pay. All right, so we had a month to get all that squared away. In July, on the first week of July 2nd, they put me on birth control pills for 3 weeks, which was very counterintuitive. I'm trying to have a baby, which I got me on birth control pills for. But they said they need to calm my ovaries down so that they'll be more receptive to the medicine once I start taking the injectables. So 3 weeks of birth control, then I had 2 weeks of injections. I finished my injections on August 8th, and that is when I had my egg retrieval surgery. So you would think, okay, they took the eggs out, they're gonna test them, freeze them, get the eggs back in me, end of the month or something like that. That is not what happened. My embryo transfer was not scheduled until October 3rd. So from August 8th to October 3rd, pretty much wasn't a whole lot going on, which worked out because I had 4 trips planned in that time frame, and it didn't interfere. When we started our IVF journey, it was totally last minute. We had trips booked, so it was great that I didn't have to cancel any of those flights because it was all non-refundable. But probably around maybe a week or so before the transfer, I had to start taking meds and things like that again, as far as injectables go. And after the transfer on the 3rd, I got my big fat positive on the 12th. So let's count here. We got June, July, August, September, and look, if I can do a half, in half of October. It took 4.5 months for us to complete our IVF cycle. So if you think it's going to be something that's going to be done in 1 month, 2 months, even 3 months, probably not going to happen. So be patient, young grasshopper. All right, the second thing I wish I would have known is that I would have to take progesterone shots in my butt for 2 whole months. First of all, I didn't even know that I was going to be taking shots in my booty at all. I found that out by watching YouTube, of all things. My doctor didn't mention it to me. The nurses didn't mention it to me. And I didn't know anybody else who went through the whole IVF process, which prompted me to start this whole YouTube channel anyway. So I'm thinking, all right, when they first prescribed them and they told me, confirmed that, yeah, I was going to have to take the shots, I was only going to have to take the shots until I got the positive on the pregnancy test. Because I started taking them, I maybe took a couple before I had the egg transfer. When they told me that I would need to take it all the way pretty much through the whole first trimester, I almost passed out, because the shots, even though I was using stuff to numb the area, were still pretty painful, caused lots of lumps. They were in my booty. My booty was itchy. It would hurt to sit on it. So it was a very uncomfortable experience that whole time. And I wish I would have knew up front that the shots would be for that long, because instead of just transferring one embryo, it's a high possibility I would have fought my doctor for twins and did 2. They convinced me not to do it, saying that, you know, there are more risks associated with it, and starting to give me statistics on premature birth of twins. And I was like, all right, well, I'm spending all this money, let's just do one. It's the safe bet. I should have did 2, because the thought of having to go through that whole process again is like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. And also with that, like I said, I used some numbing patches initially, which cost me $300 for a 1-month supply. When we initially got the order, I did not look at the specific cost of each medication. But when I needed to refill and I seen how much it was, I was like, keep them. And I used some lidocaine cream instead to numb the area, which was like $8 off of Amazon. So if you are going to go and do IVF, get you some lidocaine cream to put on your booty before your shot to help kind of numb the area. Some days it's going to work, some days it's not. The third thing I wish I would have known was how much I would miss the element of surprise. I belong to a few Facebook groups for expecting moms, and around the 18-week mark, everybody is posting their ultrasounds so excitedly, announcing that they're having a girl or they're having a boy. We did genetic testing on our embryos, and we chose to have a little girl implanted. So from day one, we knew we were having a little girl. So I didn't get to experience that, oh my gosh, I wonder what is it going to be. There's no gender reveal party for me to have with my friends and families where I can shoot confetti poppers or have pink smoke or blue smoke or whatever people did to do their whole reveal. I mean, it's already bad enough that we had to do IVF because I couldn't conceive naturally. So, you know, being able to surprise my husband and telling him that we were pregnant, that is also taken away, obviously. We did tell a few friends and family that we were undergoing IVF. So the closest people to us, they already knew as well, for the most part. The only people I got to surprise were my friends on Facebook with the announcement that we were expecting a little child. So I did get that as a surprise, but it would have been kind of fun to be able to do a gender reveal or do something cutesy to let my husband know that we were expecting. The fourth thing that I wish I would have known is that my thoughts about what to do with the remaining embryos would possibly change. When we went in, we signed paperwork before they did the whole IVF process, stating that any embryos we had, we would essentially donate if we decided we didn't want to use them, or if, God forbid, we would split. But we ain't never breaking up. We together forever, ever. And ever, ever? Yes, forever. But now, when I think about those embryos, to me, those are my children. We have 3 embryos remaining. We have 2 boys and 1 girl. Donating them essentially to me is giving them up for adoption, which is a very noble cause, especially since there's so many people out there that can't conceive and they will love the opportunity to carry their own child. But my mind is like, oh my gosh, what if my embryos go to some psychopath and they don't treat my children right? And my kids are out here being abused or living a lifestyle that I wouldn't choose for them because I decided not to keep them. I mean, I take top-notch care of my dog. So my friends and family know that this baby is going to be taken care of very well, super spoiled. And so I would want any of my children to have those same opportunities. So giving them away, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. And then it's like, what if I give them the embryo that's the next Beyonce, the next Barack Obama? You know, granted, I know Legacy, she destined for great things. But, you know, I want to keep all that greatness, you know, in-house if I can. The second option would be to destroy the embryos, which to me, I'm looking like that's abortion. I am pro-choice. I don't judge any woman who's ever had an abortion. That's your business. But considering that I have tried for so long to have a child, it seems like to kill 3 embryos would just be devastating to me. And I definitely don't think that I have that in me. But it costs $900 a year for us to keep those embryos frozen. So for every year that we, you know, try to delay what we're going to do with them, it's going to cost us $900. The third option is to try to have those remaining 3 children. So I've been trying to convince my husband, like, why don't we just do twin boys and then, you know, do a girl later on. So that would mean like 2 more times of doing IVF. And I know just because we do IVF, it doesn't mean that the embryo is going to stick and be successful and grow into a healthy baby. But I feel like I should give them a fighting chance. But at the same time, it's like, ooh, Lord, do I really want 4 children? Like, that's a lot of kids. I want a lot of babies, but I'm like, they got to be fed. They got to be clothed. They got to have cars. When they learn how to drive, they got to go to college. And I just don't know if that's a feasible option either. So we are in limbo about what it is that we want to do with these embryos. But I guess we just gonna have to keep paying that $900 every year until we figure it out. What number are we on? Okay, we are on number 5. The 5th and final thing I wish I would have known before IVF was to do more research. Okay, so I've already mentioned that I didn't know about those progesterone shots. But when we went in, after I'd already spent almost $4,000 on medication, that had me sign a bunch of forms which essentially said if they kill me, they not at fault. So it listed all these side effects that could happen from IVF, from hyper ovary stimulation syndrome, internal bleeding, accidental sterilization. I mean, it was just a list of all type of things that could go wrong. And I'm like, why didn't y'all discuss this with me before I done spent $4,000 almost on non-refundable medication? Now, granted, I probably would have went ahead and did it anyway because that's how much I wanted a little baby. But it would have just made me think through the process a little longer and harder to say, is it really worth sacrificing my life possibly to try to bring babies into this world? So if I would have did research ahead of time, you know, I'd have been more aware of some of the more severe side effects that IVF pose, as well as those progesterone shots that I would need to take. So make sure you do your research and that you are fully aware of everything that is going to go on during your IVF process. Definitely watching my past videos, because I documented the whole process from start to finish, will help you. And I wish you the best of luck if you do undergo IVF. Sending baby dust to everyone. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Bring new videos every Sunday. I'm out.